I do not want to see you with that poor farmer again. Can you not see that his life is very useless?
Once upon a time, there was a young man named Daniel. He wasn't like other men, though people didn't know that. Everyone thought he was just a struggling farmer, barely making ends meet. But in truth, Daniel was a billionaire who had chosen to leave his luxury behind, searching for something money could never buy: genuine love. He was tired of women who smiled at his bank account instead of his soul. Women who saw dollar signs when they looked at him. So he walked away from his penthouse, his sports cars, and his designer clothes and moved to a small rural village. Every morning, he walked on a small piece of rented farmland on the outskirts of Green Hill Village. The sun burned his skin. The soil stained his hands. Nothing like the air-conditioned boardrooms he once knew. But he never complained. Not far from his farm was a small vegetable market. The market was simple but lively, known for fresh produce and fair prices. It belonged to Mr. Okon, a harsh man who ran it with his daughter Mercy and his younger sister's child, Amara. Amara had lived with them since she was 7. After a terrible accident took her parents, her uncle took her in. But his wife had died years before, leaving him bitter. He treated Amara like a servant. She woke up before dawn, worked until nightfall, yet never received a word of thanks. Farming was her escape. When she tended the vegetables, her face lit up. No matter how cruel life became, she remained gentle and hopeful. Daniel came to the market every evening to sell his small harvest. Amara noticed something odd. He always sold his produce cheaper than everyone else. At first, she thought, maybe his crops weren't good quality. But after watching for days, she realized his vegetables were the freshest in the market. One evening, she walked up to him and asked, softly, "Why do you sell so cheap? You're losing money." He looked up surprised. "I need to sell quickly. I have no storage." Her heart ached. "You're the new farmer, right? The one renting old Mama Kemi's land?" He nodded. "Yes, I just started. Things are hard." She bit her lip. She understood struggle. Her entire life had been the same. That night, she couldn't stop thinking about the quiet farmer who undersold his crops just to survive. The next day, when he came to the market, she did something unexpected. She bought all his vegetables at full market price. He stared at her in shock. "You don't have to do this." She smiled gently. "I know good produce when I see it. You deserve fair payment." He looked at the money in his hand, then at her. For the first time in months, someone had treated him with dignity. From that day forward, she became his most loyal customer. Every evening, she would buy his vegetables, sometimes even when she didn't need them. Slowly, something began to shift. He started arriving earlier, not just to sell, but to see her smile. She was different from any woman he had ever met. One evening when the market was closing, he waited by her stall. When she finished packing, he cleared his throat nervously. "I just wanted to say thank you," he said quietly, "for everything, for believing in me." She laughed softly. "It's only vegetables, Daniel." He shook his head. "It's not just vegetables, it's kindness." For a brief moment, they just looked at each other. Then she smiled playfully. "Well, when you become a successful farmer and own many acres, you can pay me back." He laughed too, though her words touched something deep inside him. If only she knew who he really was. That night, as he walked back to his small rented room, he felt something he hadn't felt in years. That simple act of fairness had changed everything. For the first time in his life, someone valued him for his work, not his wallet. The next day, Amara was at the market early, setting aside the best space for Daniel's vegetables. She knew what she was doing went beyond business, but her heart wouldn't let her stop. Daniel always worked hard on his farm. He never asked for special treatment. Yet she saw how other vendors mocked him. how customers passed by his stall assuming his crops were inferior because he was new. As she arranged some baskets ready to display his produce when he arrived, Mercy walked over. Her sharp eyes immediately noticed what Amara was doing. "Who are you saving that space for?" Mercy asked, arms folded suspiciously. Amara paused, then said softly, "It's for Daniel. I want to help him get more customers. Please don't tell Uncle." Mercy's eyes widened in disbelief. "That poor farmer, so he's your boyfriend now? A man who can't even afford proper farming tools? You've disgraced yourself." Amara quickly grabbed Mercy's arm. "Mercy, please don't tell Uncle, I beg you." Mercy shook her off and laughed mockingly. "You think I'll keep quiet? You are here wasting market space for a broke man, and you think I won't talk?" Before Amara could stop her, she ran toward the back office, shouting, "Father, father, come and see what Amara is doing." Mr. Okon stomped out, his face twisted with anger. "What's going on here?" Mercy pointed at her cousin. "She's been helping that poor farmer. She's even giving him the best spot in the market. I think they are in a relationship." The old man's face darkened. "Is this true?" Amara opened her mouth to speak, but a hard slap landed across her cheek. "You foolish girl! You are helping a man who has nothing, while I am the one feeding you. Uncle, I only..." "Shut your mouth!" He grabbed her roughly and dragged her outside the market. Several vendors turned to stare. Amara's face burned with shame. Just then, Daniel appeared, pushing his cart of vegetables. The moment he saw Mr. Okon dragging Amara, he rushed forward. "Sir, what's wrong?" he asked, his voice steady despite his alarm. Mr. Okon turned on him, his face filled with disgust. "You are what's wrong," he shouted. "Didn't I warn you to stay away from this girl? But instead, you are using her to get favors in my market." Daniel's jaw tightened. "I never asked her for anything, and I never asked her to get in trouble because of me." "Shut up!" Mr. Okon screamed. "You are a lazy man looking for a woman to carry you. If I ever see you near my market again or hear you've spoken to her, I will make sure you regret it." Amara's eyes filled with tears. Daniel clenched his fist but stayed calm. He had never been humiliated like this before, yet he held his peace. Turning to her, he spoke gently. "Don't cry. It's not your fault." Mr. Okon pulled Amara away, leaving him standing there with his cat, silent and wounded. That evening, when Mr. Okon got home, he called his younger brother, Amara's late father's twin. The man arrived quickly, his face already hard with judgment. The moment Amara entered the house, her uncle's brother removed his belt. "Come here, Amara," he shouted. She stepped forward, trembling. The belt cracked across her shoulders. "You are too young to be thinking about men." Tears streamed down her face. "He's not my boyfriend. I only helped him because he's struggling." He struck her again. "Liar! You've brought shame on this family." She cried out in pain while Mr. Okon stood watching coldly. "I have made a decision," Mr. Okon announced. "I'll marry you off to Chief Adeyemi. Maybe he will teach you discipline." Her eyes went wide with horror. "Please, Uncle, no. Chief Adeyemi is older than you." "If I hear one more word," he warned coldly, "you go to his house tomorrow." That night, she lay on her thin mat, her body aching. Tears rolled down her face as she whispered, "Mother, Father, why did you leave me here?" But no one answered. A week had passed since the incident at the market. Daniel and Amara had not seen or spoken to each other. Mr. Okon watched Amara like a hawk, making sure she stayed away from the market entrance where Daniel used to sell. Daniel tried to return to the market twice, but other vendors, under Mr. Okon's orders, chased him away. His small farming business was collapsing, yet his heart ached more for Amara than for his failed sales. One evening, when Mr. Okon and Mercy went to visit relatives in the next village, Amara saw her chance. She quickly left the house and hurried toward the edge of town where she knew Daniel's rented room was located. When she arrived at the compound, she found him sitting outside, staring at nothing. When he saw her, his face brightened instantly. "Amara," he whispered, standing quickly. She smiled, tears already forming. "I've missed you." "I thought I'd never see you again," he said, taking her hands carefully. "I couldn't stay away," she whispered. "They've been watching me, but I had to see you." He nodded, squeezing her hands gently. "I understand. I'm just happy you're here." They stood silently for a moment, just looking at each other. Then he took a deep breath. "I need to tell you something," he said. She looked up at him. "What is it?" "I've loved you from the first day I saw you. You are kind, hardworking, and different from anyone I've ever met. I don't have much now, but one day I'll give you everything you deserve. I want to marry you, Amara." Her lips parted, but no words came. He waited, his heart pounding. Finally, she sighed and held his hands tighter. "I love you too," she whispered. His face lit up. "You do?" "Yes," she said, "but we should wait. You are still establishing your farm. Maybe when things get better, when you are more stable, then we can talk about marriage." He nodded slowly, though disappointment flickered in his eyes. "You are right. I'll work harder. I'll build something real first." She smiled through tears. "And when you do, I'll be here waiting." Hope filled his heart, but then his phone rang. He frowned at the screen. "My landlord," he muttered, before answering. She watched as his expression changed. When he ended the call, he looked troubled. "He wants his rent. I have 3 days to pay or I'll be evicted." Her heart sank. "I wish I could help, but I have no money." He touched her cheek gently. "I know. Don't worry about it. I'll figure something out." She looked up at him, admiring his calmness even in crisis. "Things will get better," she whispered. Daniel smiled and touched her face. "They will. I won't give up." That evening, Amara sat on her thin mat, staring at the rooftop. She couldn't stop thinking about Daniel, his worried face, his quiet strength. The thought of him being thrown out of his room filled her with desperation. She had to help somehow. She couldn't just watch him suffer. Mr. Okon kept money in his room. He always had bundles of cash from the market. He would never notice if a small amount went missing. The idea made her heart race, but she told herself it was for a good reason. She waited until the house was quiet. Mr. Okon and Mercy were outside talking with neighbors. She tiptoed into his room, her hands shaking. There on the table was a stack of bills held together with a rubber band. She grabbed just enough for Daniel's rent and quickly hid the money in her wrapper. Her heart pounded as she slipped out of the room. The next morning, she left the house early, before anyone else woke. She hurried to Daniel's compound, looking around nervously to make sure no one saw her. He was surprised when she appeared. "You came?" She pulled him aside, glancing around. "I have something for you," she whispered. Reaching into her wrapper, she pulled out the money. His eyes widened. "What is this?" "It's for your rent," she said quickly. "Take it before your landlord throws you out." He stared at the money, then at her. "Amara, where did you get this?" She bit her lip. She didn't want a lie. "I took it from my uncle." His face changed. "You stole it." She nodded, eyes down. He gently pushed the money back toward her. "I can't take this," he said firmly. "Why?" she asked, feeling hurt. "Because it's not yours," he replied. "Stealing is wrong, no matter the reason." Tears filled her eyes. "I did it for you. I didn't want you to suffer." He sighed deeply. "I know, my love, but this isn't the way. If they find out, what will happen to you?" She turned away, silent. He held her hand softly. "Please go back and return it before anyone notices." Amara nodded weakly. "I won't do it again." He smiled a little. "Good. Now go before someone sees you here." She walked away slowly, heart heavy. She didn't know that when she reached home, disaster would be waiting. Amara walked into the compound trying to appear normal. But as soon as she stepped into the main room, she froze. Mr. Okon stood there, his face dark with fury. In his hand was his leather belt. Her heart sank. "Come here," he ordered. She stepped forward slowly, fear gripping her. "I left money on my table last night. This morning, it's gone." I asked Mercy. She said she didn't touch it. Her legs felt weak. "Uncle, The slap came hard and fast. Her face burnt. "Liar," he roared, grabbing her roughly. His hand searched her wrapper until he found the money still tucked inside. The room fell silent. His voice dropped to a dangerous whisper. "So it's you, the orphan I took into my house. This is how you repay me?" Amara fell to her knees, sobbing. "Please, uncle, forgive me. I'm sorry." He didn't let her finish. The belt cracked against her back again and again. "You are a disgrace," he shouted. "I should never have taken you in." She screamed, tears mixing with pain. Mercy stood in the corner, watching without any pity. Then he stopped suddenly, breathing hard. "I'm done with you. You'll marry Chief Adeyemi in 3 days. Maybe he'll teach you some sense." Her eyes went wide. "No, please, I'll do anything. Don't do this to me." He kicked her aside. "I've made my decision." He turned to Mercy. "Lock her in the storage room. She's not leaving until her wedding day." She was dragged to the small dark storage room at the back of the house. The door slammed and locked from outside. "Please," she cried, banging on the door. No one answered. She fell to the floor, shaking. In 3 days, she would be forced to marry a man old enough to be her grandfather, and there was no one to save her. 3 days had passed, and Daniel had not seen Amara. She didn't come to the market. She didn't come to his compound. At first, he thought maybe she was being punished and confined to the house. But by the 3rd day, he knew something was terribly wrong. His heart was restless. He couldn't eat. He couldn't focus on his farm work. He had a terrible feeling deep in his gut. Had they hurt her? Had they found out about the money? Daniel couldn't wait any longer. He had to see her. He left his farm and went straight to Mr. Okon's compound. The place was unusually busy. People were moving in and out, carrying decorations and food. His stomach tightened. Something was happening. He moved carefully to the back of the compound and found the small storage room window. He tapped gently. "Amara," he whispered. At first, silence. Then a weak voice answered. "Who's there?" "It's me, Daniel." The small window creaked open slightly. Her face appeared, swollen from crying. She looked exhausted, broken. Daniel gripped the window bars. "What happened?" he asked urgently. "They locked me in," she whispered. "They are forcing me to marry Chief Adeyemi. The wedding is tomorrow." His chest tightened. "Tomorrow?" She nodded, tears streaming. "I don't want to, but I can't escape. They'll kill me if I try." He held the bars tighter, his voice shaking. "No, you are not marrying anyone. I'll stop this." She looked at him with fear and doubt. "How?" "You have nothing, Daniel. What can you do against my uncle and a powerful chief?" He exhaled slowly, his mind racing. "I'll find a way. I promise you." Tears rolled down her cheeks. "I trust you. Stay strong," he whispered. "I'll come for you." Before anyone could see him, he left quietly. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. Every thought circled back to her, locked up, crying, helpless. He stood by his window, fists clenched. This had gone too far. For months, he had hidden who he really was, but not anymore. It was time to reveal the truth. Tomorrow, everyone would know who he was. Daniel Nkrumah, the billionaire, and he would save the woman he loved. Early the next morning, A convoy of sleek black SUVs rolled into the village. The engines hummed powerfully as they came to a stop in front of Mr. Okon's compound. Daniel stepped out of the lead vehicle. He was no longer in his worn farmer's clothes. Instead, he wore a perfectly tailored navy suit, polished Italian shoes, and a gold watch that caught the sunlight. His presence alone commanded attention. Mr. Okon, who was been supervising wedding preparations outside, froze in shock. Mercy dropped the tray she was carrying. Neighbors who had gathered for the ceremony stopped and stared. Daniel walked up to Mr. Okon, his steps confident and purposeful. When he reached the older man, he looked him straight in the eye. "I came for Amara," he said, his voice calm but firm. "I want to marry her." Mr. Okon frowned, then burst into harsh laughter. "You must be insane. Amara is marrying Chief Adeyemi today. You came to stop it? You're wasting your time, poor farmer boy." Daniel's expression didn't change. "I love her and she will be my wife. I'm not here to beg. I'm here to inform you that she belongs with me." The laughter grew louder. Mr. Okon laughed until tears formed. Mercy and some guests joined in. "Daniel, Mercy told me about you, the struggling farmer who can't even pay rent. I know you borrowed these cars. You probably rented that suit too. Stop embarrassing yourself." Daniel remained silent, his face unreadable. "You are pretending to be rich, but I know who you are. A broke man trying to fool me. Chief Adeyemi has already paid the bride price. Leave before I call the authorities." Daniel gave a slight smile. "Are you certain you know who you are speaking to?" Mr. Okon laughed harder. "You foolish boy. You think I don't see through your tricks." He turned to Mercy. "Call the police. Let them arrest this con artist." Mercy quickly pulled out her phone and made the call. Within minutes, a police vehicle arrived, siren wailing. 4 officers stepped out. Mr. Okon crossed his arms smugly. "Now we'll see who Ilori are." He pointed at Daniel. "Officers, that's him. Arrest this fraud." But the moment the policemen saw who was standing there, their faces changed completely. They straightened immediately and saluted. "Good morning, sir," one said respectfully. Mr. Okon blinked, in confusion. "What are you doing? Arrest him." The senior officer looked uncomfortable. "Sir, who exactly should we arrest?" "That man," Mr. Okon shouted, pointing at Daniel. The officer turned to Daniel. "Sir, is that true? Did they call us to arrest you?" Daniel smiled faintly. "Yes, I'm the one." The officer shook his head firmly. "That's impossible, sir. You are Mr. Daniel Krumah, one of the wealthiest agricultural investors in the country. We cannot and will not arrest you. You've done nothing wrong." Mr. Okon's mouth fell open. Mercy's hands flew to her face in shock. The wedding guests began to whisper frantically. Daniel stepped closer, his voice steady. "I told you, you don't know who I am." The officer saluted again. "Sir, if this man has troubled you, we can detain him instead." Daniel waved his hand. "No need. He's already learnt his lesson." The officers nodded, returned to their vehicle and drove away. Silence filled the compound. Then Mr. Okon dropped to his knees, his voice shaking. "Sir, please forgive me. I didn't know who you were. Please have mercy." Mercy fell beside him, trembling. "Please, sir, forgive us. We made a terrible mistake." Daniel looked at them, his face calm. "Where is Amara?" Mr. Okon stammered. Oh, in the storage room. I'll get her right now. Please, sir, forgive me." "Open the door," Daniel commanded. Mr. Okon scrambled to his feet and rushed to unlock the storage room. Moments later, Amara stepped out, confused and frightened. When she saw Daniel standing there in a suit, surrounded by expensive cars, her eyes widened in disbelief. "Daniel," she whispered. He smiled gently and opened his arms. She ran to him, tears streaming down her face. "I thought I lost you," she sobbed. He held her tightly. "I told you I would come for you," he said softly. "I love you, Amara." She looked up at him through her tears. "I love you too." He touched her cheek gently. "I'll return in 2 days with my family. be ready." She nodded, joy shining through her tears. Mr. Okon stood to the side, trembling. "Sir, please, I will cancel everything with Chief Adeamin immediately. You can come anytime. Please forgive me." Daniel looked at him coolly. "Make sure she's treated well until I return. If I hear otherwise, you will regret it." "Yes, sir. Yes, sir," Mr. Okon stammered. Daniel kissed Amara's hands, walked to his car, and drove away. Amara watched until the convoy disappeared. For the first time in years, she smiled freely. She was finally safe, and soon she would be his forever.
So yeah, thank you so much for watching, you guys. Please tell me what you feel about this story and where you are watching from in the comment section. Like this video, share to your friends so they can also learn from this story. Please do not forget to subscribe to this channel and tap on the notification bell so every time I upload a video, you're going to know and you come support your girl. Thank you so much, my YouTube family. See you guys on my next story. Tell me your experience in the comment section. Thank you.